Okay, so this is going to be one of the most exciting smartphones that we've got to check out for 2021, and this is the Honor 50. Yes guys, Honor is finally back in the smartphone game, and the Honor 50 is their very first device after for a long time that comes with Google Mobile Services pre-installed. And I'm really excited to tell you guys about it after using it for a week. So this is not the final review of the Honor 50 because I've still yet to check out a lot of features, but I'm just going to share with you my thoughts about it after checking out really quickly for the past week. We've added a whole lot of things to Good Deals by KLGG, such as bags, smart locks, audio gear, and more. Shop now and check out with Atomi, and IOU pay 0% installment from 50 ringgit and get 10 ringgit off your first purchase with minimum 100 ringgit spent. Visit Good Deals by KLGG in the link below. Now, we all know that the Honor 50 isn't exactly a flagship spec smartphone, but the design looks very much like a flagship. Let me explain why. Now, when you look at these two camera bumps, it obviously reminds you of the flagship Huawei P50, which even though Honor and Huawei are no longer the same company, I'm sure they still share the same design and pretty much the same manufacturing process, which is why you're seeing these two camera bumps here right now. And one thing that I really like is this nice back right over here. This is the frost crystal color that I got, which actually has this blinks that looks very girly, but I actually feel that it's pretty nice even as a guy. I like this color a lot, and this is the color that I would go for if I were to pick the Honor 50 as my phone. And one thing that's really nice is that Honor still provides a TPU case out of the box, and on the side here you do actually see an Honor branding, which actually makes it pretty nice. It's a pretty nice touch right over here, and I really like it. Now, this phone, aesthetically, it feels really good. It only weighs 175 grams, and I'm actually liking the weight despite having a really huge 4300 mAh battery inside, because some other mid-range phones that I've actually used felt pretty heavy and they don't really have a good weight distribution. This phone is powered by a Snapdragon 778 5G chipset, and you get to choose two storage variants. So you either get to choose 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, or 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. Now, like I mentioned, there's no storage expansion on this, so you gotta look out when you first purchase the Honor 50, otherwise you're gonna get your storage full really easily if you take a lot of videos and photos. Now, this is a really nice 6.53-inch AMOLED display, and it looks really nice because it's a 1.07 billion color display and it supports a 120Hz refresh rate. The brightness is actually pretty good outdoors, and when you watch HDR content, it actually goes up to about, I guess, 800 nits or 1000 nits. I'm not sure because Honor didn't mention that, but the screen is definitely bright enough for outdoor usage and watching HDR content. Now, in terms of charging, this supports Honor's supercharged 66 watts charging, so it will charge extremely fast, and unfortunately, it only has a single speaker right at the bottom, which is something that shouldn't happen in a really nice phone in 2021, because most phones on this range would have already come with stereo speakers, and Honor is still sticking with a single speaker on this device. Now, the software experience of the Honor 50 is darn good. I can tell you that this is a super smooth experience that you will definitely miss if you haven't been using an Honor or Huawei smartphone for a long time. This is actually Magic UI, Honor's proprietary UI that is in fact a carbon copy of Huawei's EMUI that's based on Android 11. Now, everything over here looks very familiar to you if you have previously used a Huawei or Honor phone. Even the icons look pretty much the same, so you would definitely feel at home if you have been previously using a Huawei or Honor smartphone. This is it, it's actually pretty smooth. Now, the good thing is that this is already a Google certified operating system, so you don't really need to worry about not being able to run certain apps on this phone. But one thing that's bad is that if you are thinking to use this phone to watch Netflix, it still doesn't support Widevine L1, so you are still pretty much stuck at standard definition resolution. So I hope Honor gets to update that so you can enjoy HD Netflix on this thing, but in fact it still isn't there, so that's one thing that you need to look out. Now, before we wrap this first impression video up, I just want to finish it with a really important feature of the Honor 50, and that is its cameras. Now, the main sensor is 108 megapixel f1.9 sensor aided by a 8 megapixel ultra wide and two other sensors, that is a 2 megapixel depth and macro sensor, which I personally feel that these latter two sensors are not really important on the phone. We have seen how that works and it's just really unnecessary. Honor is advertising this as a vlogging smartphone. I really appreciate what the company has done to the camera software right over here. So we are in this multi-video mode right now. As you can see, it is activating both the front and rear camera at the same time. So there are actually a couple of features right over here that you can do. So let's turn over to landscape. So if you tap on this button right over here, it gives you a couple of shooting modes, so you can either do a front rear, rear, and let me just tap again, and you got picture-in-picture, rear and front camera mode. So you can, one thing that's really special about this mode is that unlike any other phones, you can change the shooting mode on the fly as you're shooting your videos. Now this is not possible on other smartphones, and I would say that this is a super powerful vlogging feature if you're thinking to invest in a smartphone for vlogging. Now let's stop this video right now, and we're going to talk about the second feature, which is the story mode right over here. So in these days, we are doing a lot of TikTok and short videos, Instagram reels or whatever, and this mode comes in pretty handy because it has a couple of modes that guides you through on how to take a perfect story video. Now, like for example, there's journey of love, makeup and whatever. So let's say if I tap on warm moments, right? So it will show you the kind of sample videos that you're going to take on your phone, and once you tap on this tick right over here, it actually guides you through on what kind of videos that you're supposed to take. Now, for example, here's actually a preview pane that tells you what kind of videos that you should be taking in order to match the music and the feel of the entire video. So if I tap on record, there's a second countdown right over here that tells me that, all right, so this first frame is already recorded, so it will tell you that this is what's going to happen, and there's 2.6 seconds for you to shoot that video. It's pretty convenient if you're a starter when it comes to doing Instagram or TikTok videos. So yeah, it's something that I really appreciate a lot when it comes to vlogging features of this phone. I haven't been testing a lot, but I can tell you that the camera is definitely no slouch. The 108 megapixel sensor takes really nice photos in good daylight, and I can definitely notice the details that it takes. It actually takes a pixel bin 12 megapixel resolution, which I think is pretty good, and that's necessary if you were to take low light photos, because this pixel bin resolution will actually increase details and brightness as you take low light photos. So overall, I had a really pleasant experience with the Honor 50, and I think this is going to be a great smartphone and a great comeback for Honor into the smartphone space. Now, I have no idea of what the pricing is going to be, but I hope that this phone will be priced below 1,500 ringgit or below 2,000 ringgit in order to make it a lot more attractive compared to other mid-range smartphones out there. It has really great features, a great design, and most importantly, the vlogging features of this camera is really just amazing. Alright, so that's pretty much about my first impressions and thoughts about the Honor 50. Stay tuned for the full review coming right out on the channel, so definitely stay subscribed for that. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you saw, and follow us on the social media places, and I will see you guys in our next video.